Today is February 1st, 2023. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. Well, a few things today. First, Mark Houck is a free man today. I've talked about Mr. Houck before, so hopefully you are up to speed on his trial in Philadelphia for violating the FACE Act. And on Monday morning, 2 days ago, a jury acquitted him of all charges. And I might add that according to the articles I read, the jury only deliberated for 1 hour before they came to their verdict. Now, you may remember that the trial ended on Friday with closing arguments, and the case went to the jury Friday afternoon. So I don't know how much time the jury actually spent looking over the case, over the evidence. But the article says 1 hour, so it may just be the 1 hour on Monday, and it didn't include the little bit of time they spent on Friday. But 1 hour is not much time for any jury to come to a decision. And it just shows you how weak the government's argument was, that the jury didn't take hardly any time at all to come to the same conclusion, how weak the Justice Department's case really was. Remember, the Houck trial was all a show trial. It was all for show, to silence and intimidate pro-lifers. That's all it was. And, they were arrested 22 people in 2022. And this was the first of possibly several trials that will take place this year. But it's possible, that in light of how disastrous this trial turned out for the Biden administration, how quickly it was decided in Mark Houck's favor, that maybe the Justice Department may be reconsidering these cases. Who knows? But we'll be keeping track of these cases if they do come to trial. Okay. And also on Monday, I did report about these 12 Catholic high school students who had attended the March for Life and were told to leave the Air and Space Museum afterwards because they were wearing, outrageously, just simple pro-life hats, nothing controversial. And then I read on the news today, on Fox News, that a spokesperson for the museum said, basically, this was all a mistake. The people were not following museum policy, and this should never have happened. Well, I get tired of this. I see it all the time. An incident happens. People have been violated. Their rights have been violated. And then the organization comes to the microphones and says, we made a mistake. We're wrong. But in the process, those students were kicked out of this Air and Space Museum. And it's possible that they had never been there before. So what was their recourse? They're back in South Carolina, and they didn't get in to see the amazing airplanes and things in this museum. It's an amazing place. It really is. But it just is so frustrating that the students really are not getting the justice they deserved. They didn't. And I'm also frustrated by the fact that if the policy is in place, then why did these rogue employees not go to a supervisor or a manager or their director and find out exactly what the policy is on wording on hats or on clothing? What's the policy? And if the spokesperson was pretty clear that no, they should not have been removed, then that could have clearly been delineated to these employees before they made fools of themselves and created a public relations disaster for the museum. It was just so uncalled for. But, I guess I'm suspicious about pro-abortion people and their intolerance for people who have another viewpoint. We do have free speech. There's that song from the Reformation I think of. It was called Die Gedanken sind frei, which means my thoughts are free. And if ever there was a song for this day and age, it's our thoughts are free. And cancel culture should not be permitted to destroy people's lives because they have a different point of view. Okay, moving on. I saw in the news too that a Catholic bishop, thank God for him, has called Joe Biden a fake Catholic. Oh, I love it. A fake Catholic because he's pro-abortion, but mainly because he answered a reporter's question just a few days ago and said that the Catholic Church does not oppose taxpayer-funded abortions. Well, that is an outright lie. That is absolutely not true. The Catholic Church has always opposed taxpayer funding for abortions for poor people. Always. The Church has always opposed abortion, no matter how it's performed or why it's performed. They have had a consistent pro-life message for almost 2,000 years. Okay, I see that Nikki Haley is about ready to announce she's running for the GOP nomination. Now remember, Nikki Haley is the former governor of South Carolina and the former ambassador to the UN under Donald Trump. Strong pro-lifer, and I might add, all the Republican candidates, whether those announced, like Donald Trump announced just after the midterms, or Nikki Haley, who's going to probably announce in about 2 weeks, or any of the other candidates, whether it's Mike Pence or Mike Pompeo or Kristi Noem or Ron, the guy that I kind of like, I admit, Ron DeSantis, and there may be more. Every single Republican candidate is pro-life. And Joe Biden, I might add, is completely pro-abortion. There's not a smidgen of pro-life conviction in that man's body. And that, as he would say, is no malarkey. With that, I'll let you go, and I will see you next time.